7 p.m. CST, we bring in that insight. Halas Hall Report, best podcast in the game. Stats and facts, you'll remember the name. Host Ken Dub got the knowledge on lock. Co-host Woody the Bear fan, talking all that talk. 3 Bear fans chilling, opinions on the side. We're here for the love, riding that Bear pride. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Lions think they're fierce with Dan Campbell's call, but all that greed ain't gonna help them at all. Same old story, we know how it goes. They just can't compete, everybody knows. Minnesota Vikings always talking smack, but when it's game day, they ain't got the knack. Sitting on the couch while we're making a stand. Over here in Chi-Town, we're the best in the land. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Their fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Packer fans yell blow, pack blow, but can't see the truth. We're stealing the show. Rivalry heated, but we stay real cool. Halas Hall Report, yeah, that's the rule. With every episode, we build that hype. Stats and team news, we got the right type. Fan base strong, we ain't looking back. 2025, it's a winning attack. So gather round fans, put your hands in the air. Every Wednesday night, we're breathing that bear. Join the revolution, watch the magic unfold. Halas Hall Report, we're breaking the mold. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Their fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the sky. So mark your calendars, don't miss a beat. Every Wednesday night, Halas Hall can't be beat. Stats, facts, team news on deck. Halas Hall Report, what did you expect? 2025, the Bears are here to stay. Blue and orange in the north leading.
And good evening. Welcome to another edition of Halas Hall Report. Of course, I'm joined by the other guy who, like me, has an opinion about nothing. Good evening, Woody. How you doing?
Oh, just got home from the tattoo appointment. Shoulder's feeling good.
Is this the same shoulder you were getting done last year?
Yeah, the sleeve.
Or a few months ago?
Yeah, the sleeve. Yep. Yepper.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no new tattoos here. They wanted to get tattoos, and I said I want an iPad. Oh, I got an iPad. It was one of those Friday the 13th deals, and nothing they had spoke to me. So I said, I'll just take me an iPad, which comes in really useful when I'm traveling.
How much I paid for this tattoo? You can probably
kind of quiet on the Bears front, hasn't it?
Yeah, very quiet.
We'll eat your dinner.
Could have gotten what?
I said you could have gotten 3 TVs.
Could have gotten what?
You could have gotten 3 TVs. How much I paid for this tattoo so far?
Jeez. Yeah, they can get expensive. They can get expensive.
He's
Devin
worth it.
got his first. He got his blade. Yeah, he's paid almost $800 for his. Okay. Yeah, that's probably cheap compared to what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Evening, Chad.
What's up, Chad?
So have you watched Quarterback at all? The Netflix show?
No.
Kirk Cousins is on it again. It's hard not to like Kirk. And then they got Jared Goff on it and Joe Burrow. And it's funny because watching Joe Burrow, like the dude tore it up. His defense, man. God, I don't know how many games they put up over 32 points and still lost. And like that used to be our problem. Well, that was our problem for that 1 year with Cutler and Marshall and God, that was a great offense. But now I'm like, we got a good defense. I think our defense is pretty stout. Like I think we've got a good defense. The rookie's already making an impact. It looks like. The interior is going to be sick. We'll see how Deo is on the other edge, if he is what they think he is. Yeah, I've seen a lot of hype on the Bears, man, being top 2, top 3, top 6 O line. From the worst to the top 10, let's just even say, would be insane if that. Because my thing, Woody, is this: if this deep offensive line is half as bad as last year's, it's going to be a phenomenal season.
Right. Well, they're
But
saying
if
this. They're saying this linebacker from Maryland. He's the surprise of camp so far.
Yeah, it makes Edwards disposable with that big contract.
Mm-hmm.
But if this O line is what they're saying it is, this could be an interesting year. There's actually buzz about the Bears, and dare I mention the word Super Bowl, but there's a buzz. There is a buzz, and I don't know how legitimate. I mean, on one level, it's legit when you look at the players on this roster, but you got to show me first, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know how to feel about it.
I just want to get 500 in the playoffs. I'm not jumping ahead of that at all.
It's like, do I go full Adam Rank and go full Homer on it? No. And buy in, or do I learn from the past where we've had this hype and it just never seems to pan out,
Baby steps.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just hoping this O-line is half as bad as it was last year. If it's a top 10 O-line, fuck.
Well, yeah. Well, everybody knows in the whole world that I didn't like Caleb Williams. That's just everybody knows.
I thought he was your favorite.
Yeah, he's my favorite. All right. My goal is not worrying about Super Bowl, not worry about playoffs. I want to see him succeed. You can't do much worse than last year, even though he had 3,800 yards. But how many times were we behind and coming back?
Yeah.
But I want him to prove me wrong. That's me. I want him to prove me wrong and see what he can do with this team. Now, if he does, we won 5 games, really 4, because of the first game. Defense won that. If he gets to like 9, 10 wins, like we were saying, what he should have,
right?
And I might, change my thought a little bit.
Chad says something interesting here. Ben built mass protection for Caleb. Running back isn't elite for Bears. I agree and I disagree on the running back piece. I'll say this. As a unit right now, I wouldn't say that running back room is elite. In terms of Swift, he's elite in terms of his home run hitting ability. Like, if you give this guy the edge, he's gone. Like, there's no catching the dude. See you tomorrow. Like, I mean, so they can be. But they've been lacking the through the middle, ram it down their throat piece of the running game. Like, bounce it to the outside or giving him a huge hole, and Swift is gone. And he's just gone. They don't have the guy to wear the defense down. Swift is not that guy. So on that, I do agree with Chad. And it hasn't been Roschon, even though we've wanted it to be. Is it going to be Menangi?
Well, the thing is that we don't know. We know Swift's a starter.
Yeah.
If their Bears were smart, they use Roschon for short yardage, goal line, whatever, or when Swift needs a rest.
A break.
A break. Menangi, I just want to see these two guys work with this new offensive line. 959 yards last year for Swift with a shitty offensive line, and we already saw his catches out of the backfield, how he can just burn everybody. Just give him a chance. Like, everybody's giving Caleb Williams a chance. Yeah, he's a rookie. Big deal. Swift stayed healthy, which he was. Chance. Yeah. Give Swift a chance. He stayed healthy. He was never healthy. He got hurt a couple of times for Detroit. That's most likely why Detroit got rid of him. And then he went to the She-Eagles and then, the Bears and stuff like that. So give him a chance and then give Caleb a chance. I know Caleb's a rookie, but oh well.
I understand why the Lions moved on from him, because they picked up, Montgomery, who's a through the pipes, can do a lot of different things, guy that Swift isn't. And then they got Swift's younger version that costs a lot less money, and it had no injury record. So it made Swift easy to move to Philly, and he did well in Philly. And then the Bears paid a good yeah, exactly. And the Bears paid a good price for him, but that cap hit next year is only $8 million. If he has, let's say he puts up $1,400 all purpose, $8 million for that in this league, we're getting him cheap.
Well, it's like these teams, like if these guys have like, they could have 1,000 yards. If you're only winning 5 games and not missing the playoffs,
Right.
Obviously they're going to move on and try to get somebody else. That's just how the league is.
I think the Bears' issue wasn't necessarily personnel as much as it was coaching. And even with the offensive line that we went into the year with last year, because I understand, what the projected starters were coming into camp and what they ended up being out of camp were two different things because of injury. And then the scheme and the coaching was so terrible that it just snowballed and became a runaway train after the bye. Because what we saw on the field probably took a couple of weeks to catch up from what was happening in the meeting rooms, right? And then it just fell apart. And so the talent's there. I mean, we got good. All 3 receivers we have talent. Well, even our 4th and 5th guys have some talent. The running backs have talent. Our tight ends have talent. The quarterback, we know he has talent. We saw some of it. The offensive line, by far last year, was just not lacking talent as much as it was a bad scheme. The talent wasn't the best, but it should have been serviceable, and they got nothing out of it. They had flashes once in a blue moon, but yeah, that's it. That's it, Chad. No organization in the offense, just bad scheme, bad coaching. You would think just by having Ben Johnson and Randall Anton L that should change that whole dynamic.
Right, and Bieniemy at running backs coach too. I'm interested to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, and Bieniemy and some of the other guys they brought in, and then they went from being the second least spent on an O-line to the 6th most, and just went and got probably one of the best, top 2. He'd probably be in the top 2 for left guards in the league in Tooney. Got a good center, a good right guard, who's worked with Ben Johnson in the past. Ozzie looks like he's going to be the kid at left tackle, or right tackle. Love him. I mean, could they finally have put the pieces together to be a serious playoff team?
Yeah, see, I want to see these young guys, because Tooney, Jonah Jackson, they're up there in age,
Well, and Jonah's been in the league, 4 or 5 years now? So he's not that old, but yeah.
Right, but he's injury prone.
1 year.
And that was Ben Johnson's boy.
Yeah, but he wasn't injury prone when he was in Detroit. He was injury prone only last year when he was in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a injury. That's one thing I don't like when people get have a injury. Like he had a injury last year that set him back. Oh, he's injury prone. Well, what about the 3 years prior to that where he didn't miss anything due to injury? Oh, but last year he missed all these games, so he's injury prone. Well, no, he got an injury last year. I mean, is Joe Burrow injury prone? Because every other year he gets some kind of injury because he gets hit so damn much?
Probably.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I know Sweat injury prone because he's on the injury report all year last year?
No, because he played. When you see some guys injured, I know they're not 100%, but if they want to play, which I don't understand how, coaches and trainers, you get injured, especially your ankle or foot or whatever, and you're not on the injury report, they want to throw you out there because you're such a great player. Now, we'll see how Montez Sweat is this year, because with him playing on that ankle all last year, hopefully that's not a concern. Now, Brisker, he was out pretty much 3/4 of the year last year.
3/4 of it, yeah.
I see a lot of Bears fans saying he's injury prone because he was out that so much. But concussion,
In his first 3 years, in the first 2 years, we know last year, in the first 2 years, how much injury time did he have? Did he miss some time in year 2?
don't remember that if he was injured, maybe a game or two. But him and Gordon were working together great the first couple of years until last year. But hopefully, I want us to have one safety at least under contract next year.
Yeah,
And if
right now we have none.
if Brisker balls out, I have a feeling that they're gonna keep him.
Yeah, and Chad said the Bears should have been 4-2 in the North last year.
Well,
Basically we should have swept the Packers, and we should have beaten the Lions in Detroit on Thanksgiving. There's 3 of them, and we probably should have won the overtime game against the Vikings.
See, this is how real this fan that I am. Okay, and yeah, Chad, I agree with you somewhat. We had to come back on those games. Like, I know you play the full 4 quarters, but we had to come back. And when the overtime game at Minnesota blocked, the Packers game blocked field goal, we had to come back, especially Detroit.
I think, though, there's a difference, though. Like, okay, the Detroit game, the Green Bay game, yeah, you're coming from behind, but you're only coming back from a score down. It's not like you're 3 scores down. They were still playing. The Vikings game, I tend to agree with that argument more because they were down 2 scores with like 3 minutes left. That one, yeah. I mean, they're prevent. You get an onside kick, which was only like second of the year in the league. I get that one a little bit more. But some of these games, there's 2 things of that argument. One, the Bears were never down like 2-3 scores where defenses were truly relaxed. They were still in the game. But the other good thing about that, though, Woody, is that this is a team that knows it can always fight back. That they didn't give up, they didn't quit, they fought back. And then people say, yeah, but defense were in the prevent. But doesn't matter in that regard. The experience that they gain of knowing that they can strike whenever. And so in a way, it's a kind of a confidence builder. So that's how great quarterbacks get like 15, 16 game-winning drives in their first 6 years,
Right. And on the flip side of that coin, I always think of if the teams are always losing every minute of that game and then tie the game up and they lose with a winning field goal or whatever, the other team, we shouldn't have won that game. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, Chad being a Lions fan could tell you about the should they have won the game in Houston? Should they have won the game in Houston? They were so far behind. But that's the thing about this league. You got to play all 4 quarters. And I understand the argument because we see too much where guys go into the prevent. And the prevent just prevents you from winning. But, I mean, the Bears, even the Washington game, fought back, right? And even after the turnover that led to a touchdown, score, they went right back down the field and put it in the end zone. I mean, the team showed some moxie, and there was a lot of great learning for Caleb in that time period, which, in a way, you can't replace it. Like, had the Bears come out last year and won 10 games, he doesn't have those experiences of having to play from behind, of having to, do some of the things he had to do last year to get the team back in it. So educationally, it was good for Caleb last year in that regard. He now knows what terrible coaching looks like. He now knows that, hey, if the coaching's slipping, I can just take over. I don't think he's going to have that problem with that.
The game against Indianapolis, we just took a shit. How many times Anthony Richardson turned that ball over and we just lost that game? Wow.
Come on, it's first and goal, and you're going to run the same first and goal, and you run the same play 4 times.
Yeah, 3. To me, this is me, in my opinion. That was the most disappointing game that last year that we played, except for the Hail Mary.
But that's when you knew there were problems with the offense and the scheme, and there were problems with the coaching. And then it kind of, they go to England, they get the win there, who did they play the next week? But they got the win the next week, go to London, beat the Jags.
Yeah.
Caleb looked good in that game. And then you get the Washington game, which was a tough-fought game. They get back in it. The Hail Mary happens, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's when the coaches lost it.
I was upset with the Hail Mary but I was more upset the play before.
Yeah.
When they let him get that far up. Bro,
I
Caleb
think
and Ben
Chad.
is doing algebra, not basic math. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Chad, I understand you. I knew you were a Detroit fan, by the way. We don't know how Ben's going to be. He was a great offensive coordinator. Great offensive coordinator. We don't know how he is going to be a coach. Don't
I
know
agree
yet.
with you. I agree with you, Woody. But the one thing he has an advantage over some other first-year head coaches, he's got a good DC. Because how many times we see a good defensive head coach or a guy with a good DC or OC becomes a head coach, and they didn't like. Let's say he was a DC, and now he's a head coach, and they don't hire a good offensive coordinator. Kind of like what happened with Eberfluss. They didn't have he never had a good OC. You know,
Fucking Billy, man. Fucking Billy. Hey, Billy, I did tag you on Facebook, buddy. That's your next fucking truck you're gonna have. Check it out, buddy. Check it out.
Good to see you, Billy, as always.
Yep. Hope
you know,
all's well.
I mean, so the thing I like about Ben is we know the offensive side of the ball. He's going to do some things, right? He's got some coaches in the offensive side that he can just delegate stuff. And like Randall's going to know what he wants. He just say, Randall, I want X. And boom, Randall's going to go off and do his thing. But defensively, we brought in a defensive coordinator who we know is a good defensive coordinator, has been a good defensive coordinator in the league. I think that helps Ben out a lot because he doesn't have to worry about the defensive side as much. I mean, he's going to have to worry about it, but the onus isn't as much on him. He can put more effort into the offense because Green's got Green's got the defense. So, you know what I'm saying? I think it mitigates it a little bit.
I got a question for you, though, Ken.
What? Uh-oh.
Caleb Williams' first fucking pass attempt. Do you think he's going to be giddy because he got sacked too much last year, or he has last year out of his mind?
Are you talking for this upcoming season? What he's going to be like after the first pass attempt?
Yeah, like during the first, like when he hikes the ball. Do you think in his head, oh my God, it's going to be like last year, or no, he just forgot all about last year?
I think he forgets about last year because of what they brought in. He knows what they brought in Tooney and Dahlman, and he knows that Jonah is actually a pretty good player too, who's worked look at Ben brought him in. Ben brought him in for a reason because Ben knows the guy is a baller. So I think, I think he's giddy. I agree with Chad. I think he's giddy.
Me too, buddy.
8 to 10. I would say 8 to 10. I would say the window is starting. Yes, for sure. And when the window's starting, that means you can blow right through it, or you could wait that year. We saw that in 2018. I said in 2018, hey, look, we're about a year out, and what they do, they won the division, and then the double doink and all that crap. So I mean, but with the personnel on this roster, though, a 10 win in the playoffs is not out of the question. But it's true. It's all new coaching. It's a lot of new stuff, but there's so much talent up and down this roster. It's hard not like if things are working right and Caleb is comfortable and that offensive line is protecting him with the receiving core and tight end core he's got, it's hard to say, yeah, they're going to struggle and maybe win, 7 to 10, 9 games. It's really hard if that offensive line is protecting them because we know Caleb doesn't throw bad balls in terms of interceptions, turnovers. Mm-hmm. He overthrew a guy or two last year. Yeah. Because he's looking behind his shoulder all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's one of those things. The Bears are kind of an enigma in your traditional trajectory because they had all the talent last year, but they had shitty coaching. Now they finally got the coaching to go with the talent we're hoping. And if it's true, then it could be, I don't want to go full Adam Rank, but it could be something special. It has the potential. Let me say that. It has the potential. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but you can see the potentials there if A and B happen. We'll get to see.
Yep. Starts with the offensive line.
Yeah. And defensively, we don't talk about the defense, but the defense, I mean, look at in the interior, he got sick. That interior D line is sick. And really, if the only question mark on the D, besides, the safety room, maybe a little bit, is Deo.
Yep. Hopefully, when he switches back and forth with Booker, so I want Booker. I like Booker. I'm sorry if Bears
I like
fans hear
Booker
that.
too. I think he'll grow.
Right. So he'll be going in and out with Deo, and I
Yep.
still think we need a fourth off defensive edge rusher.
Chad, does Caleb get through four? I think he's the first Bear to do it, and he does it this year. I mean, he threw for 38 last year with a shit O line. If the O line's good, yeah, he'll because a lot. But here's the thing though about that stat. A lot of it will be yards after the catch because I bet there'll be a lot of small screens to the tight end or to 3 to 5 yard dump passes to Swift to one of the tight ends or DJ, and they'll break for open space and turn a 5 yard pass into a 50-yard play. I think there'll be a lot of that kind of stuff. What's up, Robbie?
I think they're going to get. I think they're going to get creative too with getting Minagi in there too, with maybe Swift doing a, double reverse or and then they use Lutheran, for an end around. Hopefully doesn't.
Yeah, isn't that going to be something we haven't seen since Nagy since 18? Creativity.
Right. Oh man, I like the plays that he had. With Cohen. Oh man, it was great offense.
Yeah, the thing about Nagy is he just got stale. He didn't change. He didn't adapt. He just tried to do the same shit every year. It's like, dude, you gotta spice it up a little bit. You gotta change it to your personnel group. And he didn't do that. That's why he didn't work in Chicago, and that's why he's not working really in KC. If you think about it,
lay down.
I mean, it'll be nice to see some creativity. Now, I don't want to. Well, thank God Keenan Allen's not here to throw the ball. But yeah, I can't wait to actually see some creativity in this offense this year.
Yep.
I mean, just imagine that you could go 2 tight ends. I mean, God, the weapons he's got, he can do all kinds of crazy looks. He could really line up Colston as a slot receiver and go with Swift and Minagi back there, and there's some weird stuff they could do. I mean, they can get creative.
I was just hoping, wishing last year's offensive line would have worked out, because I do like Everett. When he was with the Chargers, he was their number 1 tight end, catching touchdowns. He lined up as a wide receiver as well. I wish he would have worked out.
Does Luther or I don't think DJ has the speed, but who do you think's our fastest receiver of the 3?
Out of wide receivers or everybody?
Between Rome, it would have to be between them.
I think it would be Lutheran.
So, I mean, is Lutheran going to get the J-Mo sweep now? You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I say it has to be one of the 3, because if you say, well, no, it's Scott. Well, if you bring Scott in, everyone's going to know what it is. You know what I mean? So it'd be one of the guys who's out there normally. So, I mean, that's what, because he's going to utilize that play if any of those guys have some speed. And I agree with Chad. He's going to utilize the tight end. He's going to utilize Swift a lot better than the Bears did. I think they're going to utilize, Rojo more. I think Rashawn Johnson will be utilized better.
Chad, I got a question since you had Swift. If you didn't have Gibbs, do you miss Swift? Would you want Swift on your team? I love when people, they bring up former players, and I asked that question. They said, no, I don't want Swift. No way. I know he remembers I know he remembers that missed touchdown pass on Thanksgiving the one year. Oh man.
Yeah, Robbie. Trust me, we can't wait, and we're tired of the clickbait articles that you see every time you open your web browser. You know how people have already fallen out of favor with Ben Johnson. They haven't even had a practice in 2 weeks or a week and a half or whatever it is. It's like I'm just so tired of the clickbait. Can't wait to actually get the guys in camp, and even then, it's going to be clickbaity. At least we'll get to see the backups fighting for roster position and see some football.
Yeah.
And while Chad's typing whether he wants Swift on the team if they didn't have Sonic, he never got healthy till okay. But if you could have him now, would you take him? Like if you could have him now, let's say you needed a running back, would you take him? If Gibbs, let's say Gibbs retired tomorrow, would you take Swift?
I mean, because he says he wasn't healthy until he left. Was that because he just had non-contract contact injuries, like a Saquon Barkley, or well, I know Gibbs is better. Holy shit!
Well, Gibbs is a younger upgrade. He's been
yeah.
better, but if Gibbs is gone, would you take Swift? Or if Montgomery is gone? Well, if Montgomery's gone, though, he's not the same type of running back. He's not that running back. He's more like Gibbs. I think it'd be funny if Swift outperformed Gibbs this year. And I mean, they're the same style. I think Gibbs is a little better on the cut, but Swift has got the speed.
Yeah, Gibbs reminds me of the way he cuts. Reminds me of Kamara.
He's more dimensional than Swift is. But Swift, man, if you get that guy the edge, see you next week, man. He's just gone.
Yep.
Swift is See, there you go. I mean, that's a good way of putting it.
I guess that's a yes.
And a former Bear offensive lineman by the last name of Long said last year early, he said, "Look, Swift is an elite running back that needs an elite offensive line, and we don't have an elite offensive line." I think there was some truth to that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a dangerous team. I can't wait for it to start.
So have you looked up and see if any second rounders signed yet?
Not yet.
Wow.
They're all waiting on Seattle. Whatever Seattle does with their second round pick, then it's going to be on the next team, and the next team, and the next team, and the next team. It's one of those deals where, if you're a second rounder, you're not signing until you're not signing a contract until the guy in front of you have signed, because you don't want to be the first guy to sign not fully guaranteed, and you don't want to be, I mean, that's what people are waiting on to see, is who's going to get fully guaranteed and who isn't.
Yeah, I understand, Robbie, but DJ Moore's been in the league longer, so he probably slowed down a little bit, but I get you.
He's probably lost a step.
Yep. It's a good receiver, though, but yeah.
He's great yards after the catch, but I mean, for that end around, does he got the speed for it?
Yeah. Oh, no, not on the – well, no. I think I said it before. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think Rome is going to have a breakout year this year.
Yeah, he had a solid year. A solid year. You mean, okay, wait, you got DJ Moore at 10, like league-wide, 10th best receiver in the league? I take it that's what you're meaning?
Or in the North. Well, I seen a lot of rankings, like, we got some commentators and stuff like that on, not much TikTok, but it seems like they know what they're talking about. I haven't seen a one wide receiver projection that had more in the top 10.
That's because of how crappy the offense was last year.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
I mean, he was this his only year besides his rookie year that he had under 1,000 yards?
I think it's the second time it's happened in his career, yeah.
St. Brown, number 8. Wow.
Well, no, I can see that, because look, St. Brown's good, but how do you put this? He's not always on. You got the nickname Third Down Brown for a reason. There sometimes he's not elite all the time. He can be elite, but there's games where he just disappears.
I'm surprised how he did pretty good last year with the touchdowns and stuff, but his stats went down after Laporta came. Laporta's I think he's the best tight end in the freaking conference.
Yeah, Laporta takes a lot of balls from him, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's not. He has elite capabilities that he can show at times, but he's not elite all the time. Does that make sense?
Right.
He disappears.
But that's Detroit's go-to guy, though, when they're down or you're first down.
Well, because J-Mo isn't. J-Mo last year was his first good year as a Lion.
Yeah, he bet on it. That's why.
I mean, think about it. JMO had a couple nice balls that he caught, but his biggest plays were trick plays.
Yep.
So with him, it's like, can he get separation on most corners? Probably not. So
I
they
think
found ways.
I think Detroit needs that big receiver. I mean, they have Raymond. He's fast, but he's not big. You got St. Brown. You got JMO. You know, they need like a how can I put it? The old time Alshon Jeffrey on their team, or they need Megatron back.
Yeah, I don't think Megatron's coming back, man.
No, especially after that fake spike against Chicago in the end zone.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, no, it's going to be a good division. I mean, I can't wait for it to start. I'm tired of.
Chad wants
just
the link. Chad wants the link. Be nice, Chad. I'm a very nice person on here. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Hold on. Let me do this. And then shoot. Which page is he watching? Hey, Chad, what page are you watching from?
Tim Patrick is your 3. Wow. So you're telling me it's St. Brown, Raymond, or JMO and Patrick, and Raymond's your number 4?
Yeah, and Chad, tell me what page you're watching from so I can send you the link. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, well, they report what? 11 days? No, 9 days?
The 19th. 10 days.
You said 10 days.
Oh, and I'm sorry, no. Oh, there's some teams that report July 22nd, but I think Bears are July 9th or 19th. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, we have Dunnerve. We signed from Baltimore. He's going to be strictly our kickoff returner. But he was a hell of a receiver in Baltimore, too.
That's not saying much.
Right. I got you.
I mean, it's Baltimore. Trying to figure out which page Chad is commenting from, so I can send it to him there. Oh, he's on. You're on YouTube. It's coming up as Facebook. Well, I'll just do it like this. There you go, Chad. We'll come up in a second.
They all pop up.
Yeah. He says he's on YouTube, but the comments are saying they're coming from the comments are coming from Facebook. So we'll see Chad here in a second. Yeah, I mean, the hardest part about the NFL does such a great job of getting us hyped for free agency, get us hyped for the draft, and then we get like that month and a half, 2 months of bleh.
Well, the good thing is I don't see us getting swept by any division team this year.
No, I don't either.
If it's gonna be, I'd say Detroit. But I don't think we are.
Detroit. I am not completely sold on Detroit this year.
What's up, Steve?
What's up, Steve? I am just not completely sold on them with all the changes. I mean, I don't want to look at they're on top, but
yep.
There you go.
Oh, and you have a Pittsburgh Steelers icon.
Yeah, they had a lot. The type of turnover they had is not easy. The way last year ended isn't easy. I don't know.
Well, I gave my early Super Bowl predictions, so I had Buffalo and the Rams. My early, way too early.
Way too early, but I could see that though. I could see that game.
Rams were one play away beating the Sheagles last year.
Here's Chad back up on the stage. Hey, Chad.
Hey, yeah, I had to leave or wouldn't let me in because I was like kind of logged in and behind the stage.
Welcome to the
How you
show,
guys
Chad.
Thanks. So, let's talk a little Lions, man. The only downfall we really have, and it's big, it's Zeitler and Ragnow. And that really is it because everybody else is healthy. Our D line's good. Our linebacking core is good. Our secondary may be short, but there's second year guys coming in here that finished decent last year. Terrion Arnold, he didn't do terrible. And I believe with DJ Reed, we upgraded. I believe that. Our linebacker core is fine. Derek Barnes, we gave him a big contract. He was hurt all year. He worked out. He could have played at the end. They didn't. And now he's ready to go. So linebackers, you got Alex Anzalone's he's healed from his broken arm. And then you got Jack Campbell. Okay, those are our starters. That doesn't even talk about what we're going to bring in. So when everybody thinks that Lions are going to be that bad, I know they're not going to win 15 games. They're not going to be an 8 or 9 win team. They're a 10, 11 win team. And I kind of see that.
With losing Zeitler to free agency, Ragnar to retirement.
Yeah,
that's a huge blow.
Yes, that's the only big blow we have because all our injured guys are back. That is a big blow. And now we got Mahogany that played a little last year. We're going to bring him in, and he's going to play guard. Okay. We signed that mediocre guy that's similar to from Arizona. We signed a guy that can play center and guard. Our tackles are Decker and Sewell. Those are our starters. And I think Glasgow will probably be the center, honestly.
Yeah. Do you know, Chad, I wanted to tell you that Anzalone is local to me.
No, he's starting.
Well, no, he's local. Like he was about 45 minutes. He went to high school from my house.
Oh.
He went to Wyomissing. Down. Get down.
That's pretty cool.
We have a lot of local. Saquon Barkley lived 10 minutes from me. He went to Whitehall High School. Let's see who else. McManus. He went to North Penn, about a half hour from me. So Matt Millen, you'll know Matt Millen real well. He went to Whitehall, Pennsylvania High School in Penn State.
Drowned him in the Whitehall River.
Nice.
And we'll bring Steve up too. Steve came up. There we go. Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Steve? How you doing?
How you doing, Woody? How you doing, Chad?
What's going on?
Oh, not much.
So
yeah.
the question I want to ask Chad, Detroit up on top of the division this year, are they going to win it?
I'm not confident. Not like last year where I knew we were. No. I think Green Bay's probably going to win it.
Wow.
And I hope I'm wrong, man. And people hate me for saying it. They're probably going to win the division it's going to be, dude, their schedules are freaking brutal.
I'm scared of Minnesota, guys. I'm scared of Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I've been saying if you ask me right now who's going to win the division, I'd tell you to flip a quarter.
Yeah.
Right? Flip a quarter. And the thing with Green Bay, and I said this morning to Ken on the morning show, Green Bay may be the most stable, but that might also be the most problematic.
Mm-hmm. And the Bears could be a surprise, and the Vikings could do it again. They always surprise. It's like, dude, they get picked
again, like they did last year. JJ McCarthy, all he has to do is manage that team, manage that game. That's all he's got to do.
I mean, in the Packers being the most stable in terms of turnover, that may not be a good thing for them.
Because you got the most talented quarterback in the North, though, for sure. The Packers have the most. Yes,
Love?
Yes, for sure. Talent. I'm saying talent. I'm not saying brain.
At
And the
this
guy that's got the
stage,
talent that can still learn.
at this stage, because he's been in what 1 year less than Goff, 1 or 2 years less than
One
Goff.
and a half, yeah, like right
Yeah.
around there.
I mean, like here's the thing: like I watched
But Goff
quarterbacks.
started as a rookie. He didn't.
Yeah, he did it right.
Goff had the
Goff
experience.
Goff
Dude,
didn't.
Goff isn't a slouch. Okay, he's a
He
top
didn't
10
impress.
quarterback.
Like
He is a top.
Goff did not impress me on that show compared to Cousins and Burrow. I mean, it's hard, but I mean,
Well, sorry, Goff isn't an actor.
no, it has nothing to do with that. It's just like
Okay. Uh-huh.
I don't. There's just something about the guy. Maybe the way it is. I mean, okay, his preparation looks okay from what we saw. They spent more time on his.
So he put
girlfriend
his
than
makeup on, right? Okay. Was his
Yeah,
hot wife there?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They spent more time with the hot
Okay,
wife.
good. That's a good thing. Okay, keep going.
But when he talks, some of the things he says, I'm like, dude. Like,
Some of the
you're
things
trying
Dan
too hard.
Campbell says, who do you think he learns it from? Come on, bro.
Yeah, you gotta, because Dan Campbell, man, I'm just like, dude, grab a tissue.
Dude, it's all an act. It's all a ploy. He's acting.
I know the Packers have the best coach in the North.
Head coach? I don't know. Second,
Oh, I don't know.
I'd say. But go ahead. We can argue it. It's arguable.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
KOC is
It definitely is arguable.
Youngest team to ever win a playoff game, Green Bay. Matt LaFleur is unbelievable. I respect him as a coach.
LaFleur and KOC both, though, just like they have ways of putting their offenses in positions to win.
But we got a guy that turned. Wait. We got a guy that turned all the depression in the world for Lions fans around, and 2 years in a row has won the division and like actually been good, even though we had disappointment.
Yes, he is the best player
and this
in the
is
division.
Coming, and so this guy isn't good. This guy that just came into a fucking destroyed locker room, a destroyed team, a destroyed fan base, and turn everything around. And Dan Campbell does not.
You got to thank Holmes for that too. The way he drafted
both,
as well.
Both, but guess who was hired first? Guess who hired Holmes? Wait. Guess who hired Holmes?
Guess who hired Holmes?
Mm-hmm.
The head coach.
The head coach convinced Sheila to hire Holmes. Yes.
So, Chad, here's my thing on Holmes, though. I mean, not Holmes, on Dan Campbell.
What? He didn't bite your kneecaps? Are you jealous?
No. This is a test. Like, as a hype guy, he is a phenomenal hype guy, right?
He is.
But when he called the offense, when he calls plays, he had a good OC and a good DC. He's great at a lot of what you said. True, he's great at bringing the culture up.
I'm gonna prove you wrong. When Dan Campbell called the offense was when they were 3-13-1, and he fired the guy mid-season and then called the offense and won a couple games. Then the next year he started calling the offense and he promoted Ben Johnson mid-season,
which was smart of him, right? So I'm not saying he's a bad coach.
No. But what he came into was a disaster.
Through
the draft, through the Matt Stafford trade, we got so much, and through the TJ Hawkinson trade, we got so much, and we built our team through the draft.
I don't care about the Lions, it's the Bears show, but I'm entertaining it. Just listen to me for a minute. Dan Campbell, I'm not saying he didn't do great work. Like, he changed the culture. He's one of the best motivators, I think, in the National Football League, right? But he's unlike his counterparts. You don't necessarily – he's not going to design you a stellar offense. He's not going to call you great plays. He does pick his moments where he makes good calls, right? He's not a bad coach, but he's not a complete coach, and this is more of a test to see how much more of a complete coach he's become over the last couple of years with AG and Ben Johnson by his side.
Okay, we're gonna find out.
What? Well,
We got John Morton calling the plays, and we got a linebacker coach running the whole defense.
Well, yeah, because you had a lot of guys who left with AG and Ben and otherwise. I mean,
of course, they always leave.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's part of the turnover. That plus the offensive line, your defensive secondary.
So the players don't matter.
Well, the players
don't matter.
Well, let's hear from Steve. What do you think? Division winner.
I've said it at times. I went through many pod. I said I think we go 12-5. I think the Vikings will go 11-6. I think the Bears will go 9-8, and I'm still going to say the Lions finish at 8-9.
Oof.
Now, I think they're going to be close games. It's not like they lose 9 games, they're blown out. Well, no, each game to me is going to be close, and you could lose by a field goal or a miscue. I mean, it's not like the teams are going to get sucked and get blown out of the damn freaking effing water.
The Packers will beat the Bears on a blocked fucking field goal too. Son of a bitches, man.
Well, you know what? that's still kind of funny. That's the only thing that saved us from going 0-6 last year.
You know what's funny? I would die laughing if the Bears and Packers split and they each win the away game. Just because of the trash talk implications, right? Because Packer fans say, Jordan Love, Love owns Soldier Field, and Bears fans like, hey, who's the mayor? Who's the mayor of Cheeseheadville? You know what I'm saying?
What's his name?
No. The Packers didn't. Then they rested their starters that last game. That's all I hear.
And one thing I caught funny today, I was on a pod or whatever it was. They had the Packers offensive line 14th, not even in the top 10, and they had the Lions, which I still say they have a stellar offensive line, but losing to Ragnow and Zeitler, and they're in the top 10 still. I just don't get it.
And what did Green Bay's? What do they rank their defensive line?
I didn't see that yet. I was just looking at the offensive line the top 10 offensive lines in the NFL, and they had Green Bay at 14th, but people thought it was fun. The Lions are still in the top 10 when they lost.
Well, you know why though? Well, there's reason for that though, Steve, because look at the Packers have always been solid, right? I swear they grow offensive linemen in the garden out back. Okay, they've always been solid, but last year Love took some hits. There were some rush throws that were interceptions. And then the Lions win 15 games, and they been so good for so many years. They're getting the benefit of the doubt, whereas the Packers are not.
Well,
Does that make sense?
But this year, like I said, the Lions lost. Both Ragnow and Zeitler retired.
No, Zeitler left as a free agent.
Okay.
He signed elsewhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he signed elsewhere.
I mean, you got they drafted Ratledge from Georgia. Which is a good pick, but still unproven.
Mahogany from last year.
Mahogany. Now he's playing left guard, right?
I think you can play both. But I think
Steve, you know what I say about rookies, right?
Right.
About the hit or miss rate on rookies. You might as well just go to Vegas and bet either black or red.
Right.
Damn, Russian roulette here.
Yeah, that's what it is with rookies, man. It's a 50-50 proposal at best. And that's why, with the Bears, Ozzy's going to be the guy at left tackle. I'm hesitant on that because he's a rookie. He could suck. He could end up being the worst guy we've ever drafted for all we know at this point. And I hate when fans when we put too much emphasis on the rookies because. And I get it. They do such a great job of hyping these guys up for the draft and to make us excited. But how many times have we had the great bust in Green Bay, for example? Or, what was his name out in Seattle, that played for Oklahoma? You get all these big, huge, we're going to blow these guys up. And they're just like.
Kevin White.
Yeah, Devin White for the Bears. Rashawn Salam.
Wow.
Right? I mean, I hate when we get too
I'd say where for the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I mean, but with the offensive lineman, it's even tougher because it usually takes them 2 or 3 years to really. Like we got lucky with Wright at right tackle. We got lucky with him that he was as good as he was.
I remember when Deion Sanders says if the Lions was going to draft him, they was going to have him put him on layaway.
Who?
I think that would have been any
Deion
team in the
Sanders.
NFC North, man.
Deion Sanders said, if the Lions draft me, because I'm going to have him put me on
Dude, the
layaway.
Lions could have had Randy Moss. They took Terry Fair. 3 overall.
Well, yeah, well, it's
Hey,
like
Chad.
the Jets. The Jets
Chad,
could have had Jerry Rice. They took Al Toon. They could have had Dan Marino. They took Ken O'Brien. And they could have had Emmitt Smith, and they took Blair Thomas.
What's up,
Blair
Go Pack,
Thomas.
go?
and the Bears could have had Jaden Daniels last year.
Hell, we could have had Barry Sanders, and who do we take? Tony Mandridge.
Hey, we could have had Patrick Mahomes.
that's
We took
true,
Mitch
too.
Trubisky.
Hey,
We could have had Mahomes, but we took Trubisky
but Steve,
instead.
the Mandarich draft that kind of worked out for you too in the end, right?
You're funny.
I mean,
Yeah.
the league is that's what I'm saying with rookies, man. It's so much speculation on these guys, and like we got lucky with our right tackle as a rookie that he panned out like he did. Now we're hoping that Trapio is going to do that for the Bears this year at left tackle, or for the Lions that they're going to fix these holes with some rookies. I mean, look, if you're starting 2 rookies and one of them work out, you're doing good. The odds of both of them working out, though, they're not great. But I think you'd be happy if one of them worked out.
Well, this is going to be an interesting season. I know that very, very well.
About time, Ken.
Yep. It's 8:58.
Yeah, we started a little bit late. Thanks everyone for joining. Sorry, I ran a little bit late today. We'll be back Sunday at 11 a.m. Central.
I'm in the back chat.
JB's Roundtable is after us on a lot of the networks on X and on YouTube. Don't forget the morning show every morning at 10 a.m. Central from 10 to 11 every day. I'll be on there with Ken. Thanks for everyone for watching today, tuning in. Some good football talk. Man, the season can't get here soon enough, though. Nope. I am tired of the clickbait articles about who's getting cut, who's lost favor. Just let's go. Let's stop with the rankings. You know, all these rankings suck. Let's just get into some actual football.
Yep.
So everyone have a great rest of your evening. Have a great week. We will see you
too, guys.
on
Thanks
Halas
for having me.
No problem.
Thanks for coming on, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on. We'll see everyone later. Have a great night.
Bear down.
Bear down.
Go, Pat, go.